Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel, the segment on this channel where I can release all of my inner rage and hatred and sadness and sorrow, disappointment with the world in general, all of the negative emotions that a person can feel. I just unload here for you guys, talk about things that just utterly tick me off. And today isn't something that exactly angers me per se, because I'm not a supporter of the Washington Commanders, so this really doesn't affect me at all. But god dang, is it still painful to talk about, man. And if you happen to support the Commanders, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to bring this up, rehash and open up these old wounds, especially if you're old as hell and you witnessed this very tragic event in NFL history, God, man. God. Dude, just to let you guys know, the thumbnail is not clickbait, okay? What you saw in the thumbnail, I swear to God, that is not clickbait. Just keep watching, you're going to understand why. Because today I'm going to be talking about the absolute biggest loss in NFL history, or if you want to spin it around, the biggest win in NFL history for the other team. But I want this to be in What's the Damage, so I'm going to sort of look at it from the Washington, Commanders perspective, So this is still to this day one of the biggest blowouts in any sport, man. It's freaking insane. And it happened back in 1940, in the NFL championship game. Back in the day, there weren't Super Bowls, or divisional playoffs or conference titles. No, it was just a one-off title game that happened every year, between the teams of the Western and Eastern Division, So this was the 8th time that this happened, and it was the two teams involved were the Chicago Bears, who had gone 8-3 in the Western Division, and also the Washington Redskins, who had gone 9-2 and were champions of the Eastern Division. So, it was a pretty anticipated matchup, mostly because they hadn't met. They had met once before in 1937 in that title game, and on that occasion, the Redskins actually won. By the way, the Washington Commanders today, they were called the Washington Redskins back then. It was part of a little controversy later on that forced them to change it because the Native Americans complained or something, but still, back then, it was a very anticipated matchup between these two teams, and the Bears were slightly more favored against the Redskins, this game was going to be played out on Washington, home turf, man, Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C., with an entire stadium sold out to full capacity. 36,034 people were there to watch this game, man. Oh, they were expecting such a rounding bout of football, And then the Chicago Bears went on to win 73-0. They scored 11 touchdowns against not a single one by the Redskins. 73 points to nothing. That would be literally impossible today. I mean, my brain still can't wrap my head around this happening in a modern day NFL game or an NFL game, because today I'm pretty sure that the refs, they end the game after a certain point, right? Like, I don't know, if a team gets up by more than 30 or 40 points, the referees just instantly call off the game. But back then in the 40s, man, it was different. It was a whole different style of play, and holy freaking crap, man, 73 points. I just can't imagine this happening, And the fact that the Washington, the Redskins supporters went there, they paid 1940s money to go and watch their team play for a title game, and this happened. But imagine being a freaking Chicago Bears supporter, man. What did the Bears have, like before Walter Payton, this was like the highlight of their entire franchise up until that point. I can't stop laughing. Oh my god, man. 73-0. That is one hell of a game right there. And I'm going to give you guys the play-by-play, the summary. But first, let's take a little trip back into the bowels of football history here. Let's take a look at some photos of this disastrous day. I think the ultimate irony in this situation is that in that aforementioned 1937 title game that these two teams also played against each other, I mean, the Redskins won by a very close margin, man. That game was 28-21, just a 7-point difference, and they won on the Chicago Bears home turf at Wrigley Field. So, oh man, imagine all of the anger, the frustration, the resentment that the fans and players and coaching staff were feeling and just festering over the next few seasons until they finally got their chance at revenge in 1940. Now, back then, the NFL only had 11 games in the regular season, so it didn't take the teams that long to meet each other, so, it happened pretty quickly, and on that occasion, it was the first game to be broadcast by radio nationwide, so, imagine being in a different state and hearing for the first time a football game on the radio, and the commentary keeps going touchdown, 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 over and over and over again. Oh my God. But still, just, the actual game summary, right? The Chicago Bears largely controlled it right from the get-go because they actually managed to use a T formation as their primary offensive strategy, which happened to work exceedingly well because already on their second play from scrimmage, they get a touchdown when their running back goes all the way down the field for a 68-yard touchdown. That was insane, man. Nobody stopped the guy, and on the ensuing drive, the Redskins actually marched the Bears down to their 26-yard line and tried to throw a touchdown pass themselves into the end zone, which their wide receiver did not catch. Later in the fourth down, they tried to do a field goal, also unsuccessful. So later in the first quarter, the Bears went on to get another touchdown when their quarterback did a 1-yard run into the end zone. And just to add insult to injury, in the next drive, one of their players runs 42 yards down the field for another touchdown. So by halftime, the Bears were leading 28-0. And at this point, the Washington supporters were probably like, okay, it's bad, it's looking pretty bad, but there's still a chance. There's still a chance to come back from it. It's not that bad, there's still 2 more quarters left to play. It's all good, except that the Chicago Bears did not let up. They did not let up, even when their reserve players started to come onto the field, because they managed to record 501 total offensive yards, 382 total rushing yards, and 8 interceptions, 3 of which they returned for a touchdown. All of this that you see here on screen right now, just in the third quarter. All of this right here happened in the third quarter alone. They managed to score an additional 45 points in the second half of that game, man. And the coach started to pull the starting players and put in the backup players, and even they were crushing the Redskins. I don't know what happened. I don't know how a team can screw up so badly on defense for this to happen, man. Because the reserve players were still scoring touchdowns. They were still getting past. It's crazy, man. I don't understand how this happens, It's one of those you have to be there to believe it moments. And right at the end, the officials were even telling they told the players to, go for a run or a pass to do the PAT, the point after touchdown, because there were no more balls in the damn field. Because after the celebrations, they were just throwing the balls into the stands all over the place, so there was nothing else left for them to use on the field. Like, holy freaking crap, man. On the last 2 touchdowns, they had to do a run or a pass. They couldn't freaking, but still. Man, it was insane. Imagine the heart attack that the opposing supporters were having. My heart would have probably been pounding out of my chest if I was a Washington supporter back in the day, man. Like, holy freaking crap. And one of the players afterwards even said in an interview, look, we needed a 50-man line against their power, and I wonder why. Like, bro, what the hell? How badly do you have to screw up so badly for this to happen in the game? And it just kept getting worse, And the Redskins did try. They did attempt a few touchdowns, but they just kept failing. The field goals were failing, the throws were failing, no catches, it wasn't just that the Bears dominated. It's just that the Redskins had really bad luck, man. It sucked. And at the end, if you really stop to think about it, if they had actually scored that touchdown in the first quarter, would it have made a difference? Probably. The game likely would have been 73-7. I think that that game would have gone to 73 points no matter what, man. It was freaking crazy. The first game that a player played without an NFL helmet, well, hold on, I have it right here. This was the first time that a player in the NFL played without a helmet, which was the Chicago Bears and Dick Plasman. I was gonna say David, but yeah. But anyway, that's a little bit of the game summary. That really got my blood boiling. I keep imagining the pain of being a damn Washington supporter witnessing this crap, man. Oh my God. But I have more stuff to share with you guys. I'm going to give you some more statistics, but I have something here that I did not think I would find, but I managed to. I actually have a clip from that game, man. Oh man, it was really hard to track this down on the internet. I had to go into the bowels of YouTube to get this one here for you guys. There is no audio, it's mute, so you're just gonna hear my background music over it. But take a look at footage of this historic, monumental, traumatic loss in NFL history. It was pretty crazy, man. You know, it's pretty insane. Like, I can't believe I found footage of it to use here in the video, and I hope I can without any copyright issues from the NFL. But, bro, if I could go back in time, I would totally watch this game from start to finish to try to figure out just what the hell went down, you know? What the actual crap. And some of the statistics here, right? So, now, the Chicago Bears actually had 17 first downs in that game. The same number as the Redskins, but that is the only time that they tied or even came close to tying because everything else is just a blowout, you know? And also, the Bears had 13 rushing first downs, which was against the Washington Bears 4. So, and they had three passing first downs against the Redskins 10. So a little better, but ultimately didn't save them. And also just one penalty. How can I say this? One penalty first down, you know, I don't even know what that is, you know, but the Redskins had 3, and now it starts to get crazy. Like I said earlier, the Bears had 501 total yards, you know, across the entire game, and that was just in the third quarter, and the Redskins had 245, and the Bears had 119 passing yards in total throughout the entire game against the Redskins 223, so they had more passing yards, and yet, my God. And the passing completion attempts, you know, for the Bears was, wait, what? How does this even work? I'm going to skip this. 382 rushing yards for the Bears against 22 by the Redskins. 22 rushing yards, man. No wonder they lost so badly. And the Chicago Bears had 57 rushing attempts against the Redskins 14 rushing attempts, so that's a little sad. And there were 6.7 yards per attempt by the Chicago Bears, you know. No, wait, sorry. Let me rephrase that. There were 6.7 yards per rush by the Chicago Bears against 1.6 by the Redskins. And the penalties yards ratio was 325 for the Chicago Bears, and for the Redskins it was 870. And okay, fumbles, punts average, this isn't important. So no, that's pretty much it, man. There are a lot more stats here, but I don't want it to get too technical. Just wanted to give you guys kind of the basic rundown, you know. So man, it was just, I can't even imagine, dude. I can't even imagine how this game was. Like, because the Netgate receipts for that game were $102,000 in total, which was a record, by the way. I don't know how much that would make each ticket individually in 1940s money. Just do the research yourself later. But however much the people paid to see that game, which was sold out to full capacity, they definitely got their money's worth. They definitely got their money's worth, man, because if anybody still has those tickets today, they're probably worth a fortune, you know, if you saw them at auction. And as of 2021, those 73 points are still the most points scored by a team in any NFL or AFL game, you know, so it still to this day is the biggest blowout win in NFL history. No other team even came close, man, especially because it was a blowout. You know, the other team didn't score any points, so be it postseason or regular season, biggest, you know, biggest margin of victory in an NFL game. However, it also stood as the biggest blowout win in all of major North American sports for over 8 decades, you know, until finally in 2021 it was actually beat out in the NBA, where the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by 73, although they led by as much as 78 points on that occasion. But still, that was what finally overtook that game in 1940, man. In 2021, no team in any sport had ever won by such a big margin until this happened, man. In that game, if I'm not mistaken, the Grizzlies won by exactly 73 points, you know. But of course, the OKC scored points. It wasn't just a blowout, but still, god dang, man. And also, the Bears' 7 rushing touchdowns is still to this day the second most touchdowns, you know, by both teams in one game in both league history and the most ever in a postseason game. So it's very traumatic for all the parties involved, but I'm sure that the Bears definitely got some bragging rights, especially because, you know, Walter Payton would come a few decades later and win them a Super Bowl, so it's all good. But still, I mean, that's just all it is, man. You know, it's all good. It's all in the thing. Peyton did win a Super Bowl, by the way, right? Or did I just randomly say something that didn't make any sense? Okay, I'm just gonna, if it's wrong, I'm gonna fix it in post, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. This video was actually pretty fun to make, you know? Wasn't that much fun behind the scenes. There were a lot of cuts. I made way too many mistakes. I could probably make a 10-minute blooper reel just of the mistakes that I made here, even though I have a script in front of me, but I kept freaking messing up a bunch of stuff, even though I myself put it together, man. It's annoying as hell. But anyway, so let me know in the comments below, guys, what you thought about this. If you are a Washington, you know, like if you're a Commander supporter, and if you are, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for having to make you remember this, you know. But hey, at least you changed your name to the Commanders. You're no longer the Redskins, because the Native Americans, you know, cried foul recently, so they had to change that. That was a controversy. But still, cultural appropriations aside, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. And if you happen to like it, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too, so you can know exactly what time I upload. And it is all good. It is all good. I'm so glad I'm a Miami supporter. I'm a Miami Dolphins supporter, and this never happened to my team as far as I know. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.